Member of Parliament Omar Otley says business sector has placed all responsibility on government. Minister of Justice thanks the frontline workers at the St. Martin Medical Center. But first up, Prime Minister gives an update on the state of affairs. Those are the headlines for Tuesday, April the 14th, 2020. This is SXM Daily News. I'm Valerie Van Putten. Thank you for joining me. And now for the details. Prime Minister Sylvia Jacobs, in her national address on Monday, the 13th of April, gave an update of the state of affairs. The Prime Minister says she is appreciative of all of the comments and suggestions received and that have been brought forward. She will have to make some changes as it has become very disorganized. The changes are not meant to hurt, but to protect the people of St. Martin.
So allow me to start by saying that I appreciate all of the comments, suggestions that have been brought forward. Several are quite worthy. Several have been discussed within our EOC and are being implemented because they were already part of our grander plan. It is just that part of our plan became very, very disorganized due to the fact that decisions made had not been carried out as executed due to lack of compliance among some of our stakeholders. We expect that if we make an agreement that something will be executed in a particular time, that it would be able to be executed. And as such, when things are not done the way they are planned, then we have to adjust, change, and move again. The sails in this storm will be battered more than once. And I know that the people of St. Martin feel seriously about some of the measures that have been implemented, but I would like to remind each and every one that the measures have not been implemented as a means of punishment, but a means of protecting. And it is not meant to hurt, and so therefore we are doing everything within our power to ensure that everyone in St. Martin can eat and will eat.
And still, in more news about the local COVID-19 pandemic, the Honorable Prime Minister, who is also chairlady of the EOC, spoke about the lack of local testing materials that was unavailable. The Prime Minister said because of that, they were not able to carry out testing as in larger countries. She elaborated on the original plan.
But due to lack of testing materials, due to lack of local testing capacity back then, we were not able to carry out the type of testing you might see going on in larger countries. While now we have local testing available, our last challenge over the past week, which has put us into a longer period of closure than we had planned, is due to the fact that testing kits were not available or did not arrive to the island on time. Although all strength went into organizing that this could happen and happen before the weekend. Our original plan during this 2-week lockdown was that during this first week, this assessment that is taking place tomorrow and Wednesday would have taken place during Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, thereby giving the EOC a good idea of what is out there and therefore leading to that staggered approach which I had discussed before. Many are looking at now the staggered approach that is being utilized in many other countries and see it as a good idea. And definitely it's a wonderful idea after being locked down, whereby everyone within the community on a special schedule will be able to go out and get their essentials. Of course, the aim is still to get out, get into the grocery store and back home in the shortest possible time. It is not time to go gallivanting around the island to see who you have not seen in a long time. We would still be under the state of emergency, but allowing for shopping to take place in a staggered and orderly manner. In the first place, so as I mentioned before, the idea is for us to flatten the curve. That is the key to all the measures being taken. Cooperation is also a key for this to be successful. If we all go out there for all our personal urgent reasons that are not necessarily life-threatening, we are therefore endangering the success of the lockdown and will then cause it to go even longer. I am not trying to make idle threats. I am just trying to explain what the goal is behind the lockdown so that with everybody understanding, we would be able to be successful in blocking the growth of and the increase of this virus on our tiny island. Even though we've increased our capacity at our medical center, we do not want to reach to that limit and then have more persons fall sick. So it is our goal that we nip this in the bud while we have the chance. So I'm asking for everyone to be diligent and disciplined over the next 2 days as we continue to improve our delivery services, as ESF7 has also, within today and tomorrow, finalized the delivery of the first 1,500 care packages to our needy. I know there are much more needy out there, and on Tuesday they will be packing more boxes to start again on Wednesday and continue with the next batch of 1,500. So by the time they finish with this 1,500, then more persons will also be able to go out into the stores and do their own purchasing. In the meantime, those with orders on backlog will be able to receive those, as the community grocery stores have approved and has agreed once again to be able to open. We've gotten a lot of assistance and agreement from taxi drivers, the postal services, as well as GEBE workers to assist with the delivery of these services within the small communities.
And in other news at this time, as all maritime borders of the islands are closed due to the coronavirus, and as a result of the island's 2-week shutdown, measures were regulated with regards to shipping traffic. The Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard, with the assistance of the Ministry of Defense, has taken additional measures to prevent the landing of unregulated shipping with possible COVID-19 sources of contamination on board. Speaking to PGD2's news department, the communications officer at the Coast Guard, Shalik Clément, says that the Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard is intensifying its patrols with assistance of the defense in order to keep the island safe from the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Because we know all the borders are closed now, and because we know for a great reason that the ABC islands are especially vulnerable for illicit trafficking, and undocumented coming with lanchas for the ABC islands. So we decided that because all borders are closed and our unregulated maritime traffic is not allowed to come to the island, we've decided that we put extra control, extra patrols on the border, so we don't have like illegals trying to come on the island. And the biggest reason, therefore, is also that when you have illegal maritime trafficking coming on land, they come in uncontrolled, so you don't know how many people is coming and if these people can be or can be not contaminated with the COVID-19.
What's the role of defense in the patrolling of the waters of the Dutch Caribbean?
Normally, this is not the first time we have assistance of defense. We have assistance of them for many reasons. When we know that there is a period in time in the year that we see more activities in the Caribbean seas, in nearby St. Martin or nearby the other SXS islands or ABC, we have solicited or requested the help, the assistance of defense. So this is not something new. This is something which happens a lot of times. And now in this uncertain period with COVID-19 and the possibilities of illegal maritime trafficking coming to the islands, we won't want to take any risk. So therefore, we ask them to reinforce our patrols and assist us with their patrols. So as the infographic I sent to the media says, we have the patrols on land, on sea, together with the patrol boats of the Coast Guard, and we are trying to cover all the islands.
And still to come, Head of the Economic Affairs gives an update on essential businesses that will be reopening. We'll have the details of that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
And as we continue now with more news, Minister of Justice Anna Richardson took time out over the weekend to thank the medical staff at the St. Martin Medical Center for their dedicated work. She was emotional as she spoke to those that were present.
First of all, I want to say good morning to the men and women in blue. Thank you for being here. Thank you for organizing this. And then I'm turning to the staff of the medical center, all the doctors and nurses. I mean, I must express that there is much emotion going through me right now because I didn't even know about this. John gave me a message this morning and said that these brave men and women wanted to show their solidarity and appreciation to you for your work, your dedication, your sacrifice that you're making in this pandemic that we're experiencing. We just want to be able to express our thank you because we know you give the same appreciation to men and women and so if you are that, but this is about you this morning. The doctors, the nurses, the staff, and everyone that is included in doing everything that it takes to be of service in this capacity. On behalf of the men and women of the Ministry of Justice, we are saying thank you. Maybe you can sound your horn. Clap your hands, man. Yes. Thank you so much. And we will continue to support each other. And the men and women of the line. Thank you so much.
The EOC, Emergency Operations Center, held a virtual press conference over the weekend. In attendance was Department Head of Economic Affairs, Transport and Telecommunications, Ms. Valia Ponteflet, who gave an update of the opening of the essential businesses such as the banks and the supermarkets on the island. Discussions, she says, are also ongoing as to how these can be worked out.
As it pertains to the first point, I would like to inform that arrangements are being made with various banks on the island to allow seniors and welfare recipients to receive access to their funds during the course of this week. As it pertains to persons who have not had a chance to cash their paychecks as a result of the 2-week shutdown, discussions are also ongoing to see how the banks can work with the employers to facilitate cashing the company's payroll. Further announcements will be made once these arrangements have been finalized with the respective banks. As it pertains to point number 2, supermarket order and delivery services, despite the apparent hiccups experienced thus far in the order and delivery services, a decision was taken to allow the grocery stores the opportunity to work out these kinks and improve the delivery services this week, or continue the delivery services this week, continue and improve. We are also discussing with ESF7 the possibility to have grocery stores offer set packages of essential goods at various prices to cut down on the process of having to pick out specific goods. This idea came about because we got feedback from majority of the food suppliers that most of the orders contain luxury comfort goods as opposed to necessity essential goods, meaning that people that are not in need are flooding the ordering system. So the idea is that persons would then be allowed to choose a package that best represents their needs and budget, and we hope to have this option finalized early this week. Let's see. We have also asked the grocery stores to implement a system to ensure that orders of essential goods are given priority. In other words, that they are delivered first. I would like to inform all that this solution of the order delivery process is not going to be in effect for long. It's an interim solution while we're in a shutdown period. By the end of the week, the Prime Minister should be addressing all after having evaluated our COVID-19 situation to determine the next solution that will be brought forth. I'm also advising persons who have already placed orders and know that they can wait a week on those items, or persons that are now able to shop for themselves, meaning pass holders, those with waivers and other frontline workers, to be able to cancel those orders and allow the grocery stores to be able to focus on getting orders to those most in need. I would also like to inform that when the shutdown went into effect last week, we only had 8 large grocery stores offering this service. This is the reason why there were a lot of delays. However, throughout the course of this week, permission or waivers have been issued to at least 30 grocery stores and over 200 delivery drivers. And we're in discussions with the representative of the Chinese Business Association to bring more grocery stores on board. Therefore, we expect some improvement in the delivery service this week. 3 lists of grocery stores offering the delivery service have been uploaded to government's website and were being circulated via social media over the last 2 days. One list shows the larger grocery stores. The other list shows the neighborhood grocery stores in the Coal Bay, Simpson Bay, Pelican, Maho area. And the last list shows the grocery stores on, let's say, the Phillipsburg, St. Peter, this side of Coal Bay Hill.
And Member of Parliament Omar Otley, in a public message, says that the business sector of St. Martin has placed all the responsibility on government, especially now that the island will not be celebrating Carnival. The Member of Parliament says that the only way St. Martin will bounce back is to get ahead of this COVID-19. He also spoke of the stimulus plan and for employees to review their contract. He is challenging the business community to donate testing kits.
I think during this pandemic, the business sector of St. Martin has just folded their hands and placed all the responsibility on the government. What amazes me is that we are now in the Carnival season, you can see. And if Carnival went through, we would have seen businesses dump hundreds of thousands of dollars into bringing an artist, hundreds of thousands of dollars into having exclusivity in the village. I have seen liquor companies dump hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Carnival village so that their brand can be the only brand used. I want to extend to the business community. The health of the people and the economy are linked in this situation. The only way that St. Martin will bounce back is to get ahead of COVID-19. Understand this. If we do not get ahead of this pandemic, the economy will be suffering for more than 6 months. Yes, the government in the stimulus plan is planning to pay 80%, up to 80% of salaries, and I commend the government for taking this step. But I also want people to realize that from the time the Prime Minister said 2 weeks of lockdown, there were already talks about firing employees. This cannot be. This can never be correct. I want all employees to make sure you review your contract. I saw an article by Mr. Cormex and it made sense. He said the firing of employees may be illegal. So I ask everyone to review your contract. Those that are working in the tourism sector, we are laying off employees because no ships are in. He made a valid point. So if 10 ships are in, do you give a raise? So I want you guys to look into this. I also advise the business community. Please, we are looking for your investment. The only way to get ahead of COVID-19 is to do massive testing. I am challenging the business community to donate. Allow the government to purchase test kits where we can not only test people that are symptomatic, we can test those that are asymptomatic, those that are not showing symptoms, those that have mild cases. I've heard many complaints, people telling me, listen, I have been coughing, I have been sneezing, and they won't test me. I have asked CPS to come and they won't test me, and I know that we are limited with test kits. And what we need is that same investment power that we put in Carnival, if we can put it into testing put the money directly into bringing test kits to St. Martin, 5,000 test kits, where we can go to the district, test people with mild symptoms, even start to test people who are not exhibiting symptoms. What is happening in St. Martin is that a person that is fine, don't cough, don't sneeze, may have the coronavirus and is spreading it to those with a weaker immune system. We have seen an increase of people found dead in their homes. We need to increase the amount of testing. That's the only way. Lock down the districts and the so-called hotspots. I am happy to hear that massive screening will go on in the hotspots, but it needs to take place in each and every district of St. Martin. Allow people to be tested, and the only way this can happen is if we, the whole community, the business sector, the public sector, come together as one and donate towards this cause. I'm asking the airport, the MAC suits, the harbor, the sheriff, the Checkmate Security, the many more businesses. Please, let's come together and fight this cause.
And now turning to our weather forecast for April the 14th, 2020. Weak instability, along with available moisture at the lower level of the atmosphere, will cause cloudy periods and possibly a few showers across the region. A tightened pressure gradient will produce mostly moderate wind speeds. Small craft operators and sea bathers should continue exercising caution as seas are peaking near 6 feet. Now let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, epidemiologist for St. Martin gives an update on the COVID-19 numbers. We'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
And as we continue now with more news out of the St. Martin Medical Center, Director at the St. Martin Medical Center, Dr. Felix Holliday, speaking at the Emergency Operations Center's virtual press conference, says that the St. Martin Medical Center has been in constant communication with government and government entities on how to address this pandemic, COVID-19.
We have been in constant communication with government and all the government entities in order to together address this pandemic of COVID-19. Government have stressed on several different occasions the best method to combat this problem is for early recognition and containment of the disease. We are at the backside of this problem. Whenever the patients attend the St. Martin Medical Center is because they are severely ill. So prevention is the key, and that's why I'm here today again to stress that fact. If we do our best to prevent it, staying at home.
And in more COVID-19 related news, epidemiologist for St. Martin and head of the Department of Collective Preventive Services, Mrs. Ava Lista de Weaver, is very happy with the recruiting of a local St. Martiner, the arrival of Raisa Chong-Kifat. She's a trained physician in infectious disease control. She will be working closely with CPS for the next 3 months. Mrs. Lista also gave an update of the COVID-19 numbers.
So as the head of CPS, I would like to start off with some good news that we were able to recruit Dr. Raisa Chonkinfat, who grew up on St. Martin and is a trained physician in infectious disease control. She's hit the ground running early this week already and will be working closely with CPS to provide her additional expertise in infectious disease and epidemiology. Dr. Chunkenfat will be assisting us over the next few months, and we are excited to have her on board. In terms of COVID-19 case updates, as of today, there are now 52 confirmed cases. And I just wanted to reiterate that all persons who are tested positive have and continue to be monitored by CPS daily. As part of contact tracing, CPS also ensures that we gather the necessary information from each case to capture all persons that they were in contact with. In addition, over the weekend, the team at CPS finalized our approach for the community outreach initiative for testing. So medical staff were oriented to the work of CPS as it pertains to COVID-19 response, and we are now working to get out into the community, hopefully early this week, so that we can start our testing campaign. Unfortunately, a drawback is due to low supply of the test kits for COVID-19 on the island and just the flight logistics between St. Martin and Guadeloupe, testing was not able to be carried out this weekend. However, these activities will commence tomorrow as the kits are expected to be on island this week.
And still to come, Member of Parliament Claudius Moncamper thanks the frontline workers and volunteers. I'll have the details of that story when SXM Daily News returns. And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, Member of Parliament Claudius Moncamper in his weekly public statement says that he is appreciative of the frontline workers and volunteers for coming out and bringing out the humanity in our people.
God bless to all the people on the front line and the many other volunteers out there doing their best to help everyone. I got to this afternoon give a very special hail up to my boy Daniel York, who has been working tirelessly to help a lot of people in the region who desperately needed to get food. One love, my brother. And to all the other people that are helping him, because I was following his Facebook page, thank you all for coming out and showing the humanity in all of us. There's nothing wrong with being kind to others. Everything you have or you do is for others or from others. So our thoughts moving forward should be thoughts of kindness to help mankind in one way or the other. Because if we don't do that, don't ask others to do it for us.
And we will have more of the Member of Parliament in tomorrow's edition of SXM Daily News. I am Valerie Van Putten. Thank you for joining me this evening. And just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of SXM Daily News team, we thank you for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.